And now for India's biggest Me Too milestone, the biggest casualty of this movement against sexual harassment. Junior Minister of External Affairs MJ Akbar has resigned from his post. In a statement, Akbar said, and I quote, "I deem it appropriate to step down from office and challenge the false accusations levied against me. I've decided to seek justice in the court of law." He has filed a defamation case against the journalist who accused him of sexual harassment. A battery of 97 lawyers are representing him in court. In fact, this decision to quit, interestingly, comes less than 24 hours before the Patiala House Court in Delhi was to take up this case. Several journalists who worked with MJ Akbar, with him in leading newspapers in India, have accused him of inappropriate behavior. Priya Ramani, one of the first journalists to come out and accuse Akbar of sexual misconduct, tweeted after his resignation, and I'm quoting, "As women, we feel vindicated by MJ Akbar's resignation. I look forward to the day when I will also get justice in court. #MeToo," she says. We also spoke to Ghazala Wahab, who's a senior journalist and also one of the women who spoke out against MJ Akbar. Here's an excerpt from that conversation.
You know, the primary objective of this Me Too campaign worldwide and including in India was to demand safe work environment for women. This is what we set out to do, and we hope that at least some beginning has been made in this direction. Now, whether you're talking of specifics like male gaze and patriarchy and, other things, they're all part of that because all of them impinges on safe work environment. So if we are talking of environment where women can feel confident, secure while they're working, earning a living, making a career for themselves, it's fine.
Remember, MJ Akbar was on a tour to Africa when the allegations against him surfaced. Upon his return to India, he refused to accept any wrongdoing. He called these allegations politically motivated in an election season, which is interesting considering Mr. Akbar has a Rajya Sabha seat. He has virtually no political base or mass appeal. His exit will make no difference whatsoever, as we understand Indian politics, to the electoral prospects of any party in this country. After brazening it out for days, the minister suddenly resigned today. The choice of day is also peculiar. It's Maha-Ashtami today. As per Hindu mythology, goddess Kali appeared on this day to slay demons. The metaphor and the poetic justice of this resignation on this particular day is not lost on Indians. Last month, a Supreme Court order in India attempted to set the wrongs of many years right. It lifted the ban on the entry of women in Sabrimala temple, where women of menstruating age, that is from 10 to 50 years of age, were forbidden to enter. The Supreme Court compared this practice to untouchability. Today, the gates of the temple were supposed to open for everyone. They did open, but no woman of the banned age group could enter.
Kerala Sabrimala temple opened its gates on Wednesday at 5 p.m. India time, but not for menstruating women, despite the Supreme Court of India lifting the ban on women entering the shrine. The day started with tension, chaos and violence. Trouble broke out as the agitators who are opposing the decision of Kerala government to implement the Supreme Court verdict lifting a ban on the entry of women of menstrual age into the temple continued to block vehicles of pilgrims and pelted stones. As police began a crackdown, the protesters fought a pitched battle with them. Security personnel used lathi charge to disperse the protesters. 700 additional police personnel had already been deployed in Pamba and Nilakkal, which are the base camps of Sabrimala pilgrimage. Several journalists covering the Sabrimala protests were attacked by mobs at Nilakkal base camp, which is the main gateway to the shrine. Their vehicles were also damaged. Earlier during the day, an attempt by a 45-year-old woman from neighbouring Andhra Pradesh to enter the Sabrimala temple failed as protesters prevented her from proceeding to the hill shrine at Pamba. Around 30 people have been arrested so far. Last month, India's Supreme Court passed a historic judgment lifting the ban on entry of girls and women of menstrual age into the temple. So why is there so much uproar over a temple in India? Sabrimala is a prominent Hindu temple located in Kerala. The temple is dedicated to Lord Ayappa, also known as the god of growth. The temple attracts pilgrims from all over the world. The ban on women entering the temple premises is being practiced for centuries, as devotees consider Lord Ayappa, the presiding deity of the temple, to be a celibate. In 1991, the Kerala High Court restricted entry of women above the age of 10 and below the age of 50 from Sabrimala temple as they were of the menstruating age. 27 years later, last month, the Supreme Court lifted the ban, saying that the discrimination against women on any grounds, even religious, is unconstitutional, and likened the practice of banning menstruating women to untouchability. Bureau Report, Wion, World is One.
You've seen robots in cinema halls, restaurants, auto shows, but have you ever imagined a robot in a parliament? For the first time, an actual robot addressed the British Parliament. He testified, if I can call him he. It's called Pepper. Here's how that session unfolded.
It is the first time a non-human has been invited to speak to Parliament in its 700-year history. Pepper is a humanoid robot based at the University of Middlesex. Education Select Committee Chairman and Tory MP Robert Halfon invited Pepper to speak in the Parliament after being impressed with her on a visit to the university. Pepper the robot sat at a table alongside robotics students at the committee meeting.
Good morning, Chair. Thank you for inviting me to give evidence today. My name is Pepper and I'm a resident robot at Middlesex University.
Members of Parliament on the Education Committee asked Pepper questions on the value of technological innovation and the role of robots in a classroom.
Students program me to engage with audience in a range of environments and social settings. For example, Joanna and I are working together to adapt my interfaces to work with primary school children with or without special needs to develop their numeracy skills.
The white robot with a female voice and tablet stuck to her chest took the members of Parliament by surprise as she answered questions in fluent English.
It also has the potential to boost independence, reduce loneliness, and improve the
When asked whether humans would have a place in a brave new world where artificial intelligence reigns supreme, Pepper's response made her audience happy.
Robots will have an important role to play, but we will always need the soft skills that are unique to humans.
But not everyone was impressed that Pepper was representing the artificial intelligence community in Parliament. Many thought that the stunt was an embarrassing gimmick which gave artificial intelligence a bad name. Gimmick or not, Pepper's debut in the Parliament will certainly be memorable in British democracy.
To the committee today.
Bureau Report, Wion, World is One.